Good evening, folks. It's a Thursday night. It's an STC night. It's a Sim Racing Team Challenge coming to you live from virtual southern of France. It's the Paul Ricard circuit tonight for the last round of the STC. It's the night when we're going to decide who will be the champions. With me tonight, Andreas Hultgreen from Sweden, and he'll help me with the commentary tonight. Hi, Andreas.
Hello, Eckhart, and everybody else.
And also with me, of course, as usual, the man who makes it all happen, the guy who's got the technology under control. It is Jose Estrada. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Eckhart, and everybody else, like Andreas said.
And also Race Direction is with me, who will also do the pace car tonight, I suppose, and that's David Garcia. Let's see if he's already in the pace car or if he's still with us in the broadcast room. David, are you in?
I can tell you his...
He's busy in the safety car, isn't he?
Exactly.
Well, that's where he should be, because it's about 7 minutes to go before the start of this really, really interesting race. And did we have a qualification? I'm going to tell you all about it in half a second, but let's first talk about the track a little. It's the circuit Paul Ricard in southern France. Used to be a Formula One track. It's now the only official Formula One test track, so to speak. It's, I think, owned by none other than Bernie Ecclestone, and I'll give you some more details on the track later. Let's just say that it's, the Mistral Straight is about the longest you can do in racing. It's 1.8 kilometers long, and that is both in virtual racing and in real-life racing a long, long stretch. Let me also point out to you that you'll see a very colorful track here because they have a special system in the runoff areas. However, let us now take a quick look at the standing before following one of the racers around the track to give you an impression. But the standings before the final race couldn't be closer, could they, Andreas?
No, it couldn't. I mean, we have Daniel Motorsport Virtual in the first, only 2 points ahead of DHR SimCraft, and that's virtually nothing, as you can score 34 points with one car in one race, combined with the fastest lap and pole position, of course.
Yep. And since both teams have two cars on the grid tonight, of course, we will do a lot of mathematics in between. Andreas, I hope you have your pocket calculator all set and ready so we can give you updates on the overall standings. However, you're very right to point to the fact that we award 1 point for the fastest lap. So it might be that we don't even know who the winner is right at the end of the race, because we have to look at the log of the race before we can find out who actually did the fastest lap.
That is right. And also, we have a third team in the running for the championship, although they are a bit of an outsider in this event, and that's Roaring Pipes Maniacs, 34 points behind Daniel Motorsport Virtual.
Yep, and then we have Flat Out Racing, who won last race with Mike Simeon, and who have a strong showing in the qualification tonight with 332 points and 1 win. And then the Project D, whose home race it is, so they're going to do everything they possibly can to be way up in the grid, or on the grid, 282 points. Very close behind, that's another great battle here, Black Visor Motorsports at 280, and then Danielson Motorsports Virtual 2. The green Corvettes at 273, so that's promising to be a huge fight there in the midfield. Then, sorry to say, Andreas, bit of a gap to your team, the Black Rebels. You're kind of in no man's land there in position 8, 211. Another jump then to Team GG, who unfortunately couldn't make it on the grid tonight. So that gives my team, the Blue Flag Racing, a fair chance of scoring 3 points tonight, or 4 points, and actually moving past them and claiming position number 9 in the overall standings. Unless that is the DHR Fanatec, with 109 points in position 11, club a lot. We then have the Flat Out Club, another of the junior teams, in 12, and the Aney Racing in 13, coming up here at the back of the grid. So those are the standings for you, and Andreas, tell us a little bit about the qualification, what you witnessed.
Well, I witnessed a lot of rain, so to speak, a lot of puddles on the track and heavy rain and a lot of spins, and that pretty much made everything a bit unusual on the grid.
Certainly does. And we have an orange racer right up at the front. Good news, Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who have to do everything they possibly can to fill that there, opening to the two front teams. Let's not forget, they won the trophy, not the last time, but the time before that. So they're also title defenders in a certain way, and they actually still have a fair shot, though it's a rather long shot, at claiming victory here tonight. It's Dragos Haba. They pulled out of the clear blue sky one of the Haba brothers, not Christian, but his, I think, younger brother, Dragos, and he scored the pole position, followed by one of the Danielsson Motorsports guys, and that's Frederick Tuckman. We then have Teo Bubicic, unfortunately not the DHR SimCraft, but for DHR Fanatec in position number 3. And then the two flat-out racers, Mateusz Marcinkowski in 4 and Kevin Ledoux in 5. There's a really strong showing by these two guys. Second RPM in 6, Patrick Duibar, and followed by the two Danielsson Motorsports Virtual 2 team racers. That's Westerlund and Pesula. Then Jack Keithley, that's the first of the DHR SimCraft racers, all the way down in 9. And then a brilliant result for your team, Andreas, vice-visor in the TBR Ferrari in 10. But the interesting thing was that two of the top racers actually totally botched their qualifying, didn't they?
They did.
And that's Keith Barrick of the DHR SimCraft. He's down to 16 due to one or several spins on the very, very wet track. And he was the first guy in the training before the qualification, so that really showed the problems he had. And even worse, Torbjörn Lindau, if I got this correctly, he's down in 19 or even 20, so really way at the back of the grid. That means that both of the teams fighting for the championship here have one racer who has to go a long, long way, and this will be for some very, very exciting racing. Jose, at the camera controls, are we in a position to follow one of the racers around the track? Then kindly tell me which one it is.
Well, we can try with Johan Pesula. The problem is I don't think he will be able to finish the lap because the session is about to end, but we can try.
Okay, here we are then with Johan Pesula, and you can already see these blue and red stripes to the left and the right side in the runoff areas here at Paul Ricard. That's the trademarked blue line safety concept, and it's now out on the start and finish straight, and that's where we lose him. Well, at least we tried. I actually, of course, as usual, talked too much. Sorry, Jose, so we couldn't do that, but you'll get to know the track in the warm-up lap, so I can lead you around the track in that lap. Racers will now join the grid, and if I see it correctly, it's still a sunny day in virtual southern France. On the grid while the racers do the last setting the pit stops, maybe having a last word about the strategy on TeamSpeak with their race engineers or with the other guys from the teams dropping in. Let's not forget that we have prizes to give away tonight. Yes, please.
It's a whisper.
And I just hear that PSR TV has left the game, so I might be off the air. I'm quickly going to check out with my technician, Jose Estrada.
Well, really not sure, because Yes, but I think, sorry, I think we disconnected, but we can reset the positions manually during the warm-up lap. Will be quite complicated to do, but I think it worth it as is the last race of the championship. So we have to restart the quali session, then rejoin with PSR TV, and then make the session go to race and make the positions in the formation lap.
Yep.
Yes. In the flap.
Okay. Does anybody have
But
the full
SS
position?
Yeah.
rejoin.
Okay. But we first must inform them, otherwise...
Okay.
In the game.
You are a champion.
Fantastic, Andreas.
I was typing like mad. Here's the rain again. Oh.
Where?
I just told him to
already. I can do it if you want.
I'm just told him to watch the in-game chat closely. Well, we're back again after some problems there. We lost the broadcast for a few moments. So what we'll do now is we will restart the race, and you will possibly see a bit of a hectic first lap because players, of course, are now not in the right position because we simply skipped all the sessions, went straight to the race. But we'll tell the players which position they should take for the racing start, for the flying start, and then I suppose we'll see two laps here, 2 warm-up laps to get all the positions right, and then we're off to the great big finals. Bit of a hassle here. Thank you for keeping with us, and I hope we now can see the interesting action. Okay, sorry guys, we have to postpone the race again. There's really huge problems here. We've lost one of the racers, and it was one of the Danielsson Motorsports racers, so we really need to reclaim him. He was second in the qualification. It was Frederick Tuckman, and so we're back to the qualification, so Frederick has a chance to rejoin. There must have been some problems with his end of the line, and we're trying to contact him right now, and we'll go back on the grid the moment Mr. Tuckman is with us. We're waiting, and while I'm afraid we're again watching virtual rain coming down here in Paul Ricard, let me give you all those facts I was talking about earlier on. And the first fact, of course, being that after the qualification results were up, I figure out the point that if the race would actually end in the position that people had after the qualification, the points would be such that the Roaring Pipes Maniacs would end up with 432 points, so a very strong showing by them. The DHR SimCraft, however, even though they would have one of the cars down on the track, in position number 16, Mr. Barrick, they would end up in, or 16 or 17, they would end up with 437 points, and then again Danielsson Motorsports, because they had Tuckman in position number 2, would end up with 448 points. So that would mean if basically they just keep positions, we see Danielsson Motorsports scoring a huge victory here in their first season in the STC, that is in their first full season. And as you can hear, well, actually not hear from my disappearing from time to time, we're all busily running in virtual space from one room to the next, trying to figure out. We're right now trying to contact Mr. Tuckman and see what went wrong at his side there, why he had to leave the game, and if he can rejoin at all. So we're basically waiting for that news.
You should type it in the game chat.
Let me tell you one or two more things about
not
the season so far.
in TeamSpeak.
We
in the briefing,
saw
there
one
were some people
completely
missing.
new
You should
team,
type it.
and that's the Project D, whose home race we have tonight. They had a great showing in the first 2 or 3 races. Their trademark was that both of the Project D Porsches were really, really close to each other. And,
Okay, as you prefer,
and they have consolidated
if you
their
on
points,
race
and we find them in position number 5 overall.
I think it's,
So
as you
they
prefer,
are
it's
a
okay.
very, very
I
welcome
will
addition
wait.
here to the
Information's
track.
okay.
And doing a great job. So they usually end up in positions like 4 to 7, and I suppose we'll see another great race by them tonight, even though even on their home track they couldn't claim a position in the top 10 in the qualification. And as I said earlier, Danielsson Motorsports, they joined the season before, but only for, I think, the last 3 races or so, and already showed the huge potential they had. I mean, they're a kind of semi-professional team, and
Okay, thank you.
they also do real-life racing. That's Danielsson Motorsport, and then one branch of the team, Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, they are the virtual racers. They fielded a real world champion in sim racing. And he scored like all the victories, I think, for the team. 3 victories they have here on their report card. But also the other racers like Frederick Tuckman and like Torbjörn Lindau tonight, they are very, very, very fast guys. So let's see if Mr. Tuckman is back on the server.
Okay,
Right
Andreas,
now, if we have solved the
1
problem,
minute 20.
and he is in. He is definitely in, so we have another 1 minute
Tell me when
to
you are
go
ready, and I will
before
join
the race. That's what
the
race
starting
control
grid.
tells me. And so now we'll see what I told you earlier, that the racers, the players, will actually then have to sort out the starting grid in the first 100 or 200 meters. Let's see if they can all do that.
So we
And
can
right now
go
it's
on
my
track
colleague Andreas Hultgreen. He is in the TeamSpeak rooms telling people what position they achieved in the training, so everybody can basically then join the real position. And I suppose we have a grid of professionals here, and we can get this underway in half a second. It's taken us 20 minutes to get to this point, so bear with us. Okay, here we are back again then.
Yes, you are, Ricard.
Second try. And the last guy to join was, of course, me, because I was still running around hectically on the virtual floors here at Paul Ricard. I can tell you the nice buildings here, everything's fine. So let's quickly check that lineup. Habas in 1, Tuckman in 2, Bubicic in 3, Marcinkowski in 4, Ledoux in 5, Duyvelar in 6, Westerlund in 7, Pesula in 8, Keithley in 9, and Vicevisser in 10. Those are the ones that I have on my paper, and it looks perfect. After 10, though, there's still some struggling there for people to join in the correct position. We have Larsson in 11 at this point, Atkins in 12, Babic in 13, Simons in 14, Livret in 16, Ken Bell in 15, Ken Bell in 16, Barrick in 17, Tugoti in 18, and we see now Michael Hart-Jones moving up the grid. He is now up to 18, so it's Tugoti in 19, and then Torbjörn Lindau in 20, and Ricard Orgrain in 21. And that, if my memory suits me right, is indeed the correct grid. So from my position here, everything looking fine, but it's up to Andreas Fultgreen, who has a printout of the results after the qualification to say if everything is correct. Andreas, are you already with us in the broadcast room, and can you tell me whether the lineup is correct at this point?
Well, Eckhart, I think he's still coordinating with the teams the grid, so he's not here.
All right, he'll join us later, but as I said, from my position, it looks great. Everything seems to be fine, and we're now out of the long Mistral straight, 1.8 kilometers in real life, longest straight around, as I said. Usually for cars this size, it does have a chicane after about 2/3, but we're running the track where you can actually go flat out on all of the long straight, and we're now approaching turns number 6 and 7. They're called the Beauset and the Bandor. And then it's a long sweeping turn, that's Village, moving into Tours. And then we have Vanta Village Dupont for turn number 10. That's Tours now that we're in. And then we have, as I said, Village Dupont, and that's the last one before heading out onto the start and finish straight. I don't think we'll see Garcia moving into the pit lane just now. Let's see, I suppose we still have another lap to go here. And sorry to correct myself, they are now in Tours. These last turns really look pretty much the same. And Garcia is off the grid, so we'll see the start now. Pace car is in. Dragos Haba in 1. He's got the green flag now, and it's for him to set the pace. Haba out there in front, and now he's off. Now they're off to a belated start here at Paul Ricard. Last round of the STC. Haba in front, going into the first chicane there, which is called Verrières. And I can already see some action in the back there, and Haba had a bit of a problem, but he's back online. And Bubicic trying to attack the Danielson Motorsports racer, trying to attack Frederick Tuckman in chicane. That should be called chicane there. And he's passed. Bubicic is passed, but Tuckman is fighting back. Tuckman on the inside. They touch just a little. Tuckman clinging on to position number 2 here. It's a long right-hander now, but we have a left-hander after, so that means Bubicic is definitely passed in the first turn. So Danielson Motorsports lose 1 position here, and that means they lose 2 points, or 3 points in their overall standings at this point. Good news for Dragos Haba, because it meant that these guys were a little slower. You can see them filing up here, lining up behind Bubicic. That was the first of the hill, and now here comes the counterattack by Frederick Tuckman at the end of Mistral. He's on the brakes now, he's trying to get past Bubicic, sliding a little, Tuckman sliding a little. They're all going wildly off the track onto this striped area there, and that might give the flat-out racer a break there. Flat-out guy, that's Mateusz Marcinkowski, and he's past Tuckman, and Tuckman drops another position. An ill-fated maneuver there by him. He's down to position number 5. So he dropped from 2 to 5 in 1 lap. He's sliding now as he just manages to squeeze out the second of the flat-out racers. That is, and he's attacked now by the second flat-out. And the flat-out guys on the inside, that is Kevin Ledoux. Kevin Ledoux is past 2. A really terrible first lap for Frederick Tuckman. We have Haba in 1, we have Bubicic in 2, we have the first of the flat-out Porsches. That is none other than Mateusz Marcinkowski in 3, but now he's dropped a position to Peter Deuvelar. RPM in 1, RPM in 3, that'll give them like truckloads full of points. Deuvelar in 3, Mateusz Marcinkowski in 4, and the second flat-out guy behind, that is Kevin Ledoux, and then Frederick Tuckman in 6. And he's sliding. Tuckman is off the track. Tuckman having serious problems here, either with the setup or with concentration, don't know. He's back on the track, and he has to let the hottest contender for the championship pass. He has to let Jack Keithley for the DHR SimCraft go past. So Keithley now in 6 and Tuckman in 7. A really, really bad start to the race for Danielson Motorsport. Keithley already a long way off now from Tuckman. And I don't know why, I have the odd feeling that Tuckman does have problems with his virtual ride. He is totally off pace here in the first lap, and he had problems in virtually every single turn we saw. He was either sliding, he was having problems with the brake point. There must be something wrong with his virtual ride. Let's hope that these connection problems that he seemed to have had. Remember, he was one of the first ones who had to leave the server here, and let's hope that that has not impaired his game in any way. So let's hope that he is still actually able to play the game at full strength. Keithley in 6, following here the flat-out racer in number 5, that's Kevin Ledoux. So let's go back up to the front and let's ask Jose Estrada. Jose, that was a wild start, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I still cannot understand what happens to Frederick, because okay, it's true he had connection problems, but was not motivated by him. I think was the internet in general, because we all suffered problems. But now he seems to be having really, really big problems with the car, and he's in a very bad situation now. And also Danielson is in a really complicated situation to try to maintain the leadership.
Okay, here's information from pit lane. David Garcia, what can you tell us?
Well, we had Frederick Tuckman made a pit stop right now. It looks like he changed his tires. Maybe he was in the wrong tires.
Oh, wet. That explains it all.
And same for John Westerlund. So maybe they were on the wrong tires.
And while we're talking, Teo Bubicic has taken the lead. Bubicic now followed by both of the RPM drivers. He is having the race of a lifetime here, Teo Bubicic. He moved up from problems there, and he has now passed both of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. It's Dragos Haba in 2, and it's Peter Deuvelar in 3. Haba has lights on, so if you want to, thank you very much, Dragos. That's a nice one for the people watching. So Haba is the RPM guy with lights on, and Deuvelar is the RPM guy with lights off. And then it's Mateusz Marcinkowski for the flat out in 4. And very good news indeed for the DHR SimCraft people, because we have Jack Keithley in 5, and then we have Keith Barrick in 7 already. And remember, he was down in, what was it, 16 or 17 on the grid, so he must have had an awesome, absolutely outstanding first lap. Deuvelar in 3, Haba in 2, and Bubicic already gaining on them, already moving away a little. Let's hope that his tires can cope with the stress of that. Let's hope that his setup is also a good setup for the whole length of the race. Right now, he is definitely by far the fastest guy out on the track. We have both the RPMs behind him. They're doing these slipstream games here on the long straight, helping each other out. Haba in front, Duivelar in 2. Sorry, in 3. I'm getting carried away by this amazing first 1 or 2 laps here at Paul Ricard. Let's see if Andreas is with me now. Andreas Hultgreen, are you with me? Have you come back from your round of the TeamSpeak server?
Yeah, I have, and that was quite a sweaty time actually. But I made it to the start, so I've seen all the action, and there was a lot of action. And I also saw one of the dark blackish Corvette spin in the first twisty part in the first lap, and I think it was Jon Westerlund because he's down in 19th. But man, what a couple of first laps.
Yeah, he was also in the pits, Jon Westerlund. He also seemed to have had a problem with the tires. And now we see that the RPM armada has been split because Dragos Haba still in 2, but Mateusz Marcinkowski for the flat out in 3. And we now see an attack by one of the SimCraft races here. And that is none other than Jack Keithley. Keithley now in 4th, past Peter Duivelar. Duivelar had to drop 2 positions in the last 4 turns, and he's now under pressure from the second of the SimCraft races, from Keith Barrick. Everything is running absolutely perfectly here for DHR SimCraft. They're all set to retake the title, to take back the title from the Danielson Motorsports Virtual, because remember, they were only 2 points down, and they now have 1 racer in 6th and 1 racer in 4, whereas the Danielson Motorsports guys are way down the grid, having suffered serious problem either in the first lap or in qualification. And on the long straight, we see massive action here into the brake zone. It's Keithley attacking Marcinkowski, and at the same time Duivelar slugging it out with Keith Barrick. Bubicic, the lucky guy, is off in front, and Duivelar didn't get past Keith Barrick, so he is still in 6th. But it's an open battle here for positions number 2 to 7, and it's massive action in the last race of the Sim Racing Team Challenge here at Paul Ricard. And Andreas, is that slipstream really so strong if you go down the Mistral in GTR Evo here? Is that really then makes you take these extra tenths of seconds so you can attack at the end of the strip?
Definitely. I don't know if you saw it on the broadcast now, but Keithley slipstreamed Marcinkowski, and when Dan Haba almost caught both of them, but he was on the outside, so he couldn't really make it stick. But you can definitely make it, and Keithley took them. Oh, he's wide.
Oh, it's right off the track. That might be a stop and go.
Yep.
He's right off the track. He's trying to get past. Try to get past Marcinkowski and Haba, but he misjudged the entry into that turn, into the chicane, and it's downhill, so it's really easy to miss your break point there. And let's see if he actually got himself a stop and go, and if he actually has to stop. He's slipstreaming again now, and we see Marcinkowski moving out of the slipstream to avoid that. But these Corvettes sure have some power down the straight, and both of the SimCraft racers now pass, and actually touching a little there, the SimCraft racers. That looked dangerous, and Marcinkowski plays the nice guy and gets back in after he's let the 2 Corvettes past, and now he's under attack by Peter Duivelar there, and let's see if he can make that stick. No, well, it might just be he passes him now. But now he's on the outside, so that might be difficult. But boy, this is very close racing here in racetrack, isn't it?
I don't really know why Keithley is that on it, to be honest. They are above all fighting Danielson Motorsport, and they are way back in the field at the moment. And
there's one of the Barrick. It was Barrick who spun out. He was touched by the first of the flat-out racers. That was Mateusz Marcinkowski. It looks as if, yes, Mateusz Marcinkowski gives back the position. Gentleman racing here. And so the guys who were really close for position 2 and 7 have now been torn apart a little. And actually your teammate, Vice in 8, has now gotten in touch with the top guys.
Yeah, he has, and I'm just going to finish what I said.
Sorry.
Keithley just pushing really, really hard, and he's fighting the Daniel Motorsport as a first target, and they are way back in the field, but as long as they are together with RPM, they will have the championship in their hands. That's Keithley passed up a second a couple of corners ago.
He's up in second.
Okay, guys, I was checking the timing, the lap times, and Frederick Tachman is already the fastest guy on the field. Only Jack Keithley is being faster than him, but they are with difference far ahead of the other. And Frederick Tachman is now around 18 seconds far from the group. So I am pretty sure he will catch the group and he will fight for recover as much positions as possible.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, David, for that interesting information there from the timing screen. And we can see that Keithley is really awesomely fast. Look at that. He's actually catching up to Teo Bubicic. His half teammate, so to speak. It's a junior team he's representing there. But of course, they're from the same house, so they probably won't make too much, won't be a hassle to get past him. But we see Peter Deuvelar in 3. And right now, Dragos Haba is into the pits. He's into the pits. Another interesting development here, pole setter Dragos Haba, and it looks as if that is a stop and go for him. Yes, it is. He's out of the pits again. That was a stop and go, and there's some points here where you can actually catch your old stop and go. There's some of the curves that you really better not touch, because there seems to be a virtual marshal standing there just waiting for you to do it. And Haba is down to 11. And that, of course, is bad news for RPM. Torbjörn Lindau in 8, by the way, let me tell you that, while you're, of course, still following the guys up front. And let me ask my cameraman, Jose, which car are we actually following?
Well, I'm just following Jack Keithley in P2.
Yep, he's the fastest guy on the grid, as we heard, so that seems to be a good position. And also the fights have cooled down a little after 5 laps. People have been torn apart, pulled apart. Bubicic is, of course, the winner of the first laps. He was out of all the trouble that we saw. He was out of all the spins, all the hassle, all the shufflings. And he's easily running up there in 1. And Deuvelar is now the fastest RPM guy on track in 3. Followed by Keith Barrick in 4 and Kevin Ledoux for the flat-out racing in 5. So Barrick was able to rejoin, to regain the position he lost when he had this little spin due to touching Mateusz Marcinkowski off the flat-out. So that's the first 5 positions for you, and Keithley slowly but surely catching up to Bubicic. It doesn't look as if he's hell-bent on catching him. It looks as if he's basically settling into this position number 2 here, because as Andreas rightly said, it's Daniel from Motorsports they're fighting and not their own junior team.
Okay, guys.
P17. Yes, go in.
Sorry, Dragos Haba is again on pit. Maybe it's another stop and go penalty. Yes, it is.
Oh my, bad news.
I have some information from the Daniel from Motorsport camp. Roland came to me and told me that the reason why both the DMSv cars pitted early on was that they indeed started with rain tires. There was some trouble apparently while restarting everything.
Well, that's awful luck. Awful luck for the Nelson Motorsports, and if I'm not mistaken, we're following Monsieur Chugotti at the moment. And he is streaming one of the Black Friday Motorsport races, that's Ricard Norgreen. But Yes, and he might just make it in the break zone. No, he's pulling back there. And they're fighting for position 15 and 16 here. So it's Chogoti in 16 and Norgreen in 15. And right in front of the two, and Haba is right behind them. And right in front of the two, it's my teammate, Keith Barrick, who seems to have had a really great start here and a really good race up to now. It's his manner to stay out of the trouble, rather taking a long line if needs must be, if trouble can be avoided. And it paid off handsomely. He's in 14. And great position for him, 15 Norgreen and 16 Chogoti. And don't forget, Norgreen is one of the guys who had some problems in the WAT qualifying and who's, of course, hell-bent to regain as many positions as possible here. So he's still fighting there with Chogoti, and Chogoti is really, really close, and it looks to me as if he is slightly faster than Norgreen. Here's the attack by Chogoti going into turn number 1, Verrières, but that didn't really work out at all. He was not basically attacking, but just choosing a different line, I think. This is where we've seen some of the racers actually taking a short line, of course not voluntarily, but involuntarily. That's the chicane, and now they're in Saint-de-Bournay. That's turn number 3. It's a long right-hander. It's really difficult to hit the exit correctly. Yep, jump in, David.
No, Eckhart.
Oh, sorry, I thought, David, it was you. I heard a voice in the background of our broadcasting room here, but we just now see Chogoti passing. And David, what do you think? Can the Danielsson, with their always superb pit stop strategy, regain? Oh, and a massive crash here by Chogoti. Massive crash, Chogoti, fighting there still with Norgreen. I wonder if that Porsche will still work perfectly, but I'm afraid I think the camera was in another position, wasn't it, Jose?
Yes, Eckhart, I jumped in before, was me, David, to tell you that Mr. Lindau was in P7 and making an incredible progress to the front of the grid.
Okay, and he's now up to 6 years. And even though we didn't see it on screen, let me see that there was a massive crash there between Chogoti and Norgreen in the brake zone after the long Mistral straight. Chogoti, I can't really say whose mistake it was. It looked as if Chogoti was past, but then Norgreen was pretty quick towards the end of the Mistral, and then turning into the turn, they basically went head-to-head, and both of the virtual cars were actually up in the air and spinning around, and Norgreen could rejoin the track much faster, but I suppose that both of these virtual rides are pretty much twisted now, and not really out of the race, but they might have some serious problems now with their rides. So Lindau in 6.
Guys, let me tell you, we had a third pit stop for Dragos Haba. This time it was not a stop-and-go penalty. It was a pit stop. He changed tires and everything.
Yeah, very, very strange behavior there. We must maybe try to find out what went wrong there. But of course that leaves the Roaring Pipes Maniacs without the secret weapon they brought in for tonight's race. And that leaves them, well, they still have Peter Deuvelaar, who is a great racer himself. But of course Habas set the fastest time in the qualification. Habas did a great race the first 2 or 3 laps, and he was then caught up in these stop-and-goes, which more or less spoiled his race. And Torbjörn Lindau still in 6 in the flat-out sandwich here. And the guy in front is Kevin Ledoux, and it's Mateusz Marcinkowski right behind in 7, and it's my teammate Christopher Larsson in position number 8, and maybe Jose, we could move to that fight there, because that's both our teams. It's Christopher Larsson for the blue flags fighting with Vice for the for the Black Rebels there. And now, just as I'm talking, Vice is passed because Christopher Larsson had some trouble breaking into turn number 3, Saint-Bournet. And that is a huge battle here between the two. And we haven't seen those teams that far up the grid this season, haven't we?
Nah, it was a long time ago we saw the PBR cars up there at least, and I think your team, the Blue Flag Racing team, has also trouble a lot.
Yeah, we didn't really have trouble, we had trouble following the pace. Everything was more or less running smoothly. I mean, the computers worked fine, the lines were great, service, everything was great. It's just that we were missing the pace. But now, a massive maneuver there by Christopher Larsson as he passes Visser, so my question about the slipstream has been answered there in great style by Christopher Larsson. And David, tell us what's on your mind.
Yes, well, we have Jack Keithley already won position 1. He's leading the race right now.
Oh, so we have the change that we anticipated there. Bubicic, yes, probably not putting up the hardest of struggles against Jack Keithley, and Keithley now in 1 for the SimCraft. For the DHR SimCraft. So that means 32 points at this point in the race for him alone. And I wonder where the Nelson guys are. But that's a long way to go for them, 32 points. So don't forget, they only have 2 points lead going into this race. But we still have another, I would say, 70 minutes of this race to go. So there's still, as the Germans would say, lots of water flowing down the river, which means lots of things still can happen.
Okay, guys, I have more information. We have Torbjörn Lindau already in position 5, already past Kevin Ledoux from Flat Out. And
moving up there,
we have Frederick Tuckman in position 17, but he is already in visual contact with the group of the guys in position 12 and 13. So I think he's getting in touch with them, and he will recover some position soon.
And there they are again. Visser has just passed Larsson again on the Mistral straight. That's where all the action is tonight. So the slipstream Andreas talked about earlier, really working great. And Larsson has now the dual task of staying close to Visser. He's definitely faster in these turns here. And at the same time, defending against that Danielsson Motorsports racer, that is Johan Pesula, attacking from the rear, coming up from behind. And so let's see how these fare on the next time they go up the Mistral straight. It's Pesula in 10, it's Christopher Larsson in 9, and Visser for the Black Rebels in the Ferrari in position number 8. He's gotten a good exit speed there, perfect exit speed out on the straight. He's now into chicane and hitting the curves just right. And now he's approaching that corner where we've seen some of the problems so far. And Visser, a bit too far on the curves for my taste there. He might have gotten a warning by the marshals, but I don't know how strictly they watched that corner there. But might get him into trouble. But let's see how close Larsson can get. Larsson needs to get really close now, because this is the exit out onto the straight. And you can see Pesula also aiming for the slipstream, but I think Christopher is just a little too far away. Don't think he can try anything in this turn of going down the Mistral straight. And I was just off now, sorry to be silent for some time. And Andreas, I was checking on the time. We only have 1 hour in the race left, so that means we're 30 minutes down. And lots of action in these first 30 minutes, wasn't there?
Yeah, hopefully it will continue after the pit stop as well. And yeah, a lot of passing off in the long straight and a bit of touching here and there, and a bit misfortune for some of the drivers, but all in all, a really, really good race so far.
And at this point in the race, with 1/3 down, shouldn't we give our viewers the first of our rundown, starting with the leading man, Jack Keithley, and number 2, Teo Bubicic. And I will actually tell the viewers as we go down the grid how many points that would mean for them in the overall standings, so people can actually then sum up themselves and see how many points their teams would get at this point. Should we do that?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we have to do one of our famous rundowns. We can start in the last race.
No, we can't. So, it's position number 1 for Jack Keithley. He had a massive, huge first 3 or 4 laps, and he was in position number 9 after qualification, but it was clear from the training session, from the warm-up, that he was one of the fastest, if not the fastest guy tonight here on the track at Paul Ricard, and he is in 1. This would give 32 points to DHR SimCraft. 32 points for them for Jack Keithley. Then position number 2, it's Teo Bubicic of the DHR junior team, that's the DHR Fanatec, and they would gain 29 points from that. Position number 3, Keith Barrick. After half a spin, he's up to 3 again, and that would add another impressive 26 points to DHR SimCraft, which would put them, I think, at this point in position number 1 in the overall standings. But let's see what's going on further down the grid. It's Peter Doivelar for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who looked so strong as the race started, but who had some serious trouble with Dragos Haba, having to pit for stop and go a couple of times already, and then also pitting very, very early for a change of tires and of course also some fuel. And so it's Doivelar alone out there in 4 for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, but worth 23 points. In 5, the first of the Danielsson Motorsports racers, Torbjörn Lindau, that's worth 22 points. Then it's Mateusz Marcinkowski for 21 points, and flat out in 6. Kevin Ledoux, his flat out twin, following him in 7 for 20 points. So 41 points overall for that team. Wietse Visser for the Black Rebels in 8, worth 19 points. Christopher Larsson in 9 for the Blue Flag Racing, worth 18 points. Under attack now by Johan Pesula of the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual Team 2, worth 17 points for them in 10. And then we have the first of the home crowd here, Project D or Project D. That's Sébastien Levray in the Porsche there, and this would give them 16 points. The second of the Danielsson Motorsport 2, fighting there with Ivo Simons, that's Jon Westerlund, worth 15 points in position number 12. And as I said, Ivo Simons in 13 for the Black Rebels. A great team result for you right now. And stop shouting in the back, Andreas. I know it's brilliant. Yes, Andreas. Ivo Simons, yeah, he's all over my back, folks. If you could see that, he's uncorking the champagne already. Anyway, that's Ivo Simons there in 13, getting 14 points for the Black Rebels. And there we have him, Frederick Tuckman. The totally unlucky guy who had to leave the server early on, and then after rejoining there was some problems with the setup, we heard, and he started on wets, had to pit really early in the race, and he's now up to position 14 already. He must have a hell of a race here. He must be so mad. Frederick Tuckman, position 14, would gain him 13 points in the overall standings. Then the second blue flag racer, Krzysztof Babic from Poland, in 15 would give him 12 points. Great result for him if he can make it stick. And then Nigel Atkins, the first of the Black Visor Motorsports, who find themselves in a situation that they're not really used to, pretty much down the grid really here. In 16, Nigel Atkins would gain 11 points. Then Grigory Shugoty, who was involved in that crash I described to you earlier on, at the end of the Mistral Straight at Richard Norgren. He is in 17, and that's worth 10 points. And then Richard Norgren in 18, worth 9 points. Dragos Haba, after the serious problems he had, it looks to me as if that racer is very, very slow indeed. He might have gone off the track somewhere in his attempt to regain positions that he lost due to the stop and go. It looks to me as if he's at least 10 kilometers per hour off the pace here on Mistral, but we would need to check that on the timing screen. Haba 19 for 8 points. Ken Bell for the Flat Out Juniors in 20 for 7 points, and that's the last guy running, because unfortunately Mr. Hart Jones had to drop out of the race for Team Amy, and that leaves them with 2 points in the overall standings. That much is clear already at this point in the race. So that was your first rundown of the overall grid. I hope you had your pen and paper ready and could add up the results to virtual standings here after half an hour of the last race of the Sim Racing Team Challenge. Okay, so race control, David Garcia informs me that the fight we just watched between Shugoty and Richard Norgren, and also the other Black Visor racer, that was, Nigel Atkins. That's also a fight for the overall position, because they're only a couple of points apart. Project D are at 282 points and Black Visor at 280 points. So really that is also a fight for the overall position number 5. And let's not forget that the Nelson Motorsports Virtual are only 7 points away from them. So, and we've seen both their racers further up the grid. So it might in fact be that the Nelson Motorsports 2 actually pass both of them and end up in position number 5, which would be great for the Nelson Motorsports, as both teams combine, the first team and also the junior team.
You see Dragos Haba now working his way through this little pack here, and he's up to speed again. Oh,
that's perfect good news. And we just saw problems here for Bubicic. He was off the track and into the wall at huge speed. No, sorry, that was just a computer glitch. Or wasn't it? No, it wasn't. He's completely banged up his racer. That Ferrari looks not awesome, but awful. We've seen that before in the season. It was Andreas Löffler who banged up the Ferrari awfully. And he's very slow now, so it looks like a pit stop for Bubicic on the books. And he must have lost it there in either turn 2 or turn 3. And as far as I could see, Christopher Larson was not involved. He was like 2 or 3 lengths behind.
Yeah.
And I can see Andreas Holtgreen putting the cork back on the champagne. Sad news for you, Andreas, isn't it?
That was a big hit. I mean, look at the side of his car, it's totally banged up, and he's losing time all the time now.
Yep, let's follow him and let's see if he's pitting. I think he should. I don't think he's going to do another lap with that racer. So let's stick with him.
I expect a puncture.
Yep, so do I. However, he doesn't show one of these black lines of virtual rubber, so I suspect it's just awfully banged up. And there he is. He's into the pits, and the only good thing about it is it might be time for a pit stop anyway at this point, so he might not lose that much.
Yes, it's a good moment.
That was a stop and go. That was a stop and go. He had to do that before, so that means he has to go out again in this banged up racer and do another lap. Oh my goodness, that is just awfully bad luck. He's still in 10, but he's going to be swallowed up now by all the guys behind. Look at that racer. It's all over the place, and Wietse will definitely swear in his native Dutch now, I suppose. And let's hope that nothing bad happens now with Jon Westerlund coming up behind. He doesn't know how slow the guy is. From the back part of the racer looks almost alright, so he can't suspect anything wrong here. And he's held up now, Westerlund, but he's definitely going to get passed on the long Mistral straight. He's going into the slipstream now, and we'll see him pass any second, but surprisingly fast on the straight he is, Mr. Visser.
Oh, yeah, I think he has really trimmed down the downforce a lot to really be fast on the straight. Yeah, and the fight that he was in with Johan Pesela and Christopher Larsson, Pesela just passed Larsson for P8.
Okay. So bad luck for my team as well. You can cork my bottle of champagne too. Yeah, David, jump in. Another information here from Race Control. David Garcia, what is it?
Yes, we have Peter Duvlar in pit. He was in P4, if I am right. He's in pit already.
So is that a normal pit, or does it look like a stop and go?
No, it's a normal.
No, it's a normal.
An earlier one.
I would say.
Yep. Looks like somebody changed his tactics. And so let's see if Wietse is into the pits now. He is. And he drops positions now to 12 to 13. And he's pitting now, so we should, I think, a bit too far. And he's now in the pits proper, and the guys can start working on his virtual ride, and that's going to take some time because they need to put everything back in order. Good news for the Nelson Motorsports, because that will certainly gain Mr. Tuckman another position. Talking about Tuckman, there he is, already up to 12. What a great race for him after an awful first lap. So him slip due to the wrong tires being on the virtual ride, and he's now attacking Sebastian Lebret of the home team here, and he's easily passed. He must have virtually no downforce at all on his Beamer, which means that his control of the racer in the turns must be outstandingly good. And so Livray down to 12, but still a good result for him at this point, and Tuckman up to 11, so he's slowly getting into that that part of the grid where he's starting to earn points for real. I mean, 11, that gives him 16 points. And while you follow Tuckman on the screen, let me quickly tell you where we find the other contenders for the top of the grid. We find Torbjörn Lindau in 3. That's 26 points for him. We find Keith Barrick in 2 for 29 points, and we find Jack Keithley in 1. So it's a double lead at this point for for DHR SimCraft. And this would, whatever the Danielson Motorsports guys do, if they bring that double victory home, there's absolutely no way they can lose the championship.
Guys, I have news from Pete. It's Teo Bubicic already made his pit stop. He pit out ahead of Peter Duvelar, but Peter overtook him at the end of the straight. So it's Teo Bubicic at P9 and Peter Duvelar at P8.
this is the battle David was just talking about. Duivelar in 9 attacking Bubicic, and both of them on fresh tires, slowed down by Jon Westerlund of the Danielsson Motorsports 2, who is still on his first set of tires. Now a touch there, another touch, Westerlund under heavy attack by both of the other racers. Bubicic first touched him in front, and then Duivelar touched him in the rear. He's not going to be too happy about that maneuver by both racers. But Bubicic got past, more or less clean pass, and then Duivelar has now also gotten past, so they're really taking advantage of their fresh tires. And I suppose we'll see Jon Westerlund pitting now. And Tuckman is also passed. Tuckman is now in a position where he has regained, where he has is within striking distance of the other top racers here. He is close to the second of the RPM, to the first of the RPM racers. He is in position 7 now because they all have passed my teammate Christopher Larsson, who's in the pits at this moment. So it's Bubicic in 5, Duivelar in 6, and Tuckman in 7 already. Yes, please.
Yes, Ricard. Keith Barrick already made his pit stop. He pit out at B4 with no traffic, so looks quite easy for him now.
Yeah, perfect timing, I'd say. David, I've just heard in the background here of the broadcast room a question raised. Do you think that Tuckman can actually survive on that one pit stop he made pretty early in the race?
Well, I don't think so, Ricard, because it was really too early. It was on lap 3. So, in my opinion, only because the life of the tires, it is impossible to reach the end of the race with that set of tires.
Go on, sorry.
No, that was it. And you know, the fuel is also a problem. I doubt the end with only one level.
Alright, so we'll probably see him drop down a little, but right now he's out of the fight. He has a bit of open road in front. He has the Professional Motorsports 2 guy behind him, shielding him from any attacks. But now the Danielsson guy is pitting in. That is Jon Westerlund of the Danielsson Motorsports 2. And also Torbjörn Lindau is in the pits. And Matthias Marcinkowski, so there's loads of action in the pits, which puts Dragos Haba in position number 6 at this point, but I suppose he has to be in the pit. Now we still have this massive fight here going on for P3 with Teo Bubicic and Peter Duivelar. Ever since they pitted, those two are in. Teo Bubicic, who was really the fastest guy out there in the first 4 or 5 laps of the race, seems to have lost some of his speed after the pit stop. Don't know why, but it's happened sometimes in DHR Evo that after your pit you don't quite regain the speed you had before, or else you're just a little faster. And this is what I call a defensive line. Look at where Bubicic is as they're approaching the end of the long Mistral straight, and as they're approaching that turn there called Senior. And no chance for Duivelar, even though he was in the slipstream to get past. Duivelar now very, very, very close as they move into 6 Bosset, and now he's passed. He has attacked him on the inside, something that I wouldn't have guessed he would try to do, but he's passed. No, he's not, because it's a snake-like arrangement here of left-hander, right-hander, left-hander. And one moment you're passed, the next moment you're passed back, because it all depends on whether you're on the inside of the turn or you're on the outside. But it looks as if Bubicic can only hold out for another turn down the Mistral, because Duivelar really seems to be much faster here.
Yeah,
okay,
Bubicic.
Frederick Tuckman.
There it is, Tuckman on pit, and David, can you follow him so we can tell our viewers straight away what position he will leave the pits while we stick here with that huge battle for position 3?
Yes, I am Keith Barrick.
Great. Andreas, are you still with us? We seem to have lost you among all that champagne you were uncorking too early, or have you been talking to Vice in the pits?
No, I haven't, but I've been watching a couple of fights on the track, and it's just brilliant racing going on all over the track at the moment. We also have Keith Barrick in the lead now. I think he passed Jack Keithley when he's hitting. So just change by the team is there, so no big change, but anyways. But about Teo Bubicic, you can see him again grabbing that inside line on the long straight, and he's really under pressure.
He certainly is, and I wonder if Duval are now out of the slipstream a little earlier than before, and trying to pass him on the outside. Oh, massive move there, absolutely breathtaking. What a maneuver that, but at least from what we were able to see on screen, maneuver of the day, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely awesome, passing him on the outside there, and Bubicic is a very competitive guy, so he's not going to let that go pass without trying to fight back.
No, the positive thing for Teo here is that now he can be in the slipstream, so it might be Duval out to pull away.
Yep, indeed. The only chance for him really is to pull away, not here on that part, but on these turns 2, 3, and 4, chicane, Saint-Borny, and Nicole, just before exiting onto Mistral. If he can do something there, hit the perfect line there, he might just shake him off, but I doubt it. Bubicic's very, very fast here, at least in the CT8, and getting really close to Duval.
Yeah, and the Porsche is really, really nice in the twisty parts as well. So I think he can stick with him at least for a while.
Yep, looks like it. And David, you've watched Mr. Tuckman emerge from the pits. What position was he in?
Yeah, he rejoined the track in position 11.
Well, judging that he came back from 21, that's 10 positions gained in half the race. If he goes on like that, he ends up in 2 or 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking a little bit at the time, and he has about 20 to 30 seconds up to Christopher Larsson, so it's quite a long distance as Bubicic is going side by side.
Yep, Duval is not taking that defensive line that Bubicic had, which gives us not such a breathtaking pass, but a pass anyway, doesn't really matter for the racers, and Duval trying to stay next to him. I wonder if that can work out. No, it can't. Nope. Bubicic, well, taking up all the space he can. Really, some awesome racing here by both racers. While we're following this, Andreas, you said you were following some other fights down the grid. Tell us about it, because of course, obviously, we can't have our camera in all positions. What did you see?
Basically the one between Corvette and the BVM drivers. He's fighting at the moment with Ricard Norgren down in 16th and 17th, but they are sticking together. And then behind them, a few seconds behind, we have Nigel Atkins and Christoph Babiš fighting again as well.
Well, brilliant. Good news for me. So Babiš still going strong, and Christopher Larsson also. A great race tonight, and it looks as if we have the best result of the blue flag racing for the whole season, if both can actually stay on the tarmac and bring it safely home.
Yep.
Brilliant. And what a fight we have here, and we see Duval now on the exit out onto Mistral, very close, and let's follow Mr. Bubicic. Yep. It's on the right-hand side of the track again.
Hey, Carl. I just noticed an orange car behind these two, and look at Dragos Haba. He's up to 5th.
He's up to 5th. No kidding.
He's up to 5th.
Amazing. And these two, really, you could put like, can't put a towel between them. It's what the German guys say on the radio or on air when they're commenting on a close race in real life. I wouldn't want to put a towel between these two. It would be very, very close indeed.
Yeah, it would tear apart pretty much.
It would certainly be rubbed to pieces. There was just like half a virtual meter between them at the end of Mistral, and this is a massive long straight, so you're really, really fast as you approach that breakpoint.
Yeah. I have a question for David. Did you see Dragos hitting?
Sorry, Andreas. Again.
Did you see Dragos Haba hitting at the mid stages?
Not really, but he made 2 stop-and-go penalties, and then he went in for a third time to make a pit stop, and I think it was maybe, if I am not wrong, around 11 or 12 laps before the half of the race.
Yep.
And in my opinion, it is a good moment because you will make 10 laps with new tires when the rest are on used tires. But possibly Dragos will transfer at the end of the race, at the final lap, when the others will be on good tires.
And there he is, just visible there. So if he can continue at that speed, we're going to have a three-way battle here. Let me tell you why we're again Bubicic hugging the right-hand side of the track, and Duivela practically, you know, creeping up his rear wing, and then taking the turn the way you should. And there he is. This gives him the chance. Bubicic had to leave the track a little because his right-hand side tactics make him take the turn not in the best possible way, and it paid off for Duivela. Great racing here by Peter Duivela, and Haba getting closer and closer to these two. And I agree with you, David. He might have some problems in the last 10 laps, but then again, he might just be so mad after losing that pole position in the first 3 or 4 laps due to these stop-and-goes that he might just go all the way. And while we're watching these guys, let me tell you that DHR SimCraft are still fully in control of the race. I think we might actually at this point switch to the race leaders to give them some air time, Jose.
Sure, we are with them.
Brilliant. It's Keith Barrick in 1. And it's the second of the DHR SimCraft racers. It's Jack Keithley in 2. And they seem to be absolutely in control of the race here, don't they? It's an outstanding performance by the 2 Corvettes.
Yeah, it really is. They really have it under control from here on, I think.
I doubt whether they take the fastest lap. That's possibly up to someone like Haba or Tuckman as they fight their way up the grid. But if they reach the finish line, it would give them 32 plus 29 points, which comes up to 61 points. This is so massive. No one's going to take the championship away from them if they can bring that one home. So let's just keep all our fingers crossed that there's no technical problems facing them now. We had enough of those already tonight, and let's hope that they can bring that one here home. Let's hope that for the DHR SimCraft, but for the Danielsa Motorsports, of course, if we're in their shoes, we would love to see one of them suffer a little, but it's not in the books, I think. It looks totally in control.
Yep, and I'm still following the battle between Bubicic and Duivela, and Bubicic has just passed him again, so the battle continues.
Yeah, it's what I call a love-hate relationship. And cameraman just gave me the thumbs up to my request of a second rundown here of the overall grid. We've seen 1 or 2 racers actually also leave the grid. So let us put you in on who is still with us here at the last race of the Sim Racing Team Challenge. It's a double lead for DHR SimCraft, who are set to defend the title if the race ends this way. In position number 1 we have Keith Barrick. And in position number 2, it's Jack Keithley. And they actually swapped positions a couple of laps back, but they now seem to have settled down into a routine where they basically totally in control of the race, can possibly save a little on the tires and save a little on the fuel use and also on the amount of pressure that they put on their virtual motors. So it looks as if these two are fully in control here. Position number 3, that is where the action is. And that's Teo Bubicic, still under pressure, and now under pressure of both the RPM racers. That is, and a nasty touch there, just as we follow them. That was Peter Duivelar touching Teo Bubicic in the back there, and that lets Christian Haba, the guy with the lights on, slip past. So now we have Haba in 4 and Duivelar in 5. Time for Peter to cool down a little and reassess the situation and try another move then on Teo Bubicic, who has proven to be almost impossible to pass for more than 2 or 3 laps. Bubicic 3, Haba 4 and Duivelar 5.
Guys, let me interrupt you for a bit. Only to tell you that Frederick Tachmann made the fastest lap of the race in his last lap, and he is the only one driver under the 151. He made a 1:50.933.
Outstanding, absolutely brilliant. So that gives them 1 point, and I suppose if I know the DHR SimCraft racers, they will try to do something about that in the laps to come. They will not be patient and stay in control. They will try to regain that fastest lap. And now we see in the back that Haba lets Duivelar pass him again, which gives Bubicic a bit of a breather here, and gives us another chance then to go down the grid, because it'll be some time before that gap closes. So, Bubicic 3, Duivelar 4, Haba 5. In 6, Torbjörn Lindau, the first of the other title contenders, the guys who are still in front on the overall standings. Let's not forget this. I mean, going into the race with only 2 points, but still, they were the leaders in the standing, the Nelson Motorsports Virtual. Torbjörn Lindau, their best racer at this point in 6th. And he is in another epic battle here with Mateusz Marcinkowski of the Flat Out Racers in the yellow Porsche in 7. Then in 8, it's the 7 of the Flat Outs, it's Kevin Ledoux. Yes, Gard David.
Yes, sorry, Eckhart, for the interruption. We have Dragos Haba again on pit. He was with the same set of tires for 23 laps now, so he was in again.
Definitely. That's why he was also slowing down drastically there in the last lap and letting Duivelar pass again. Well, that puts Ledoux in 7 as he passes Haba in the pits. And that puts Johan Pesula in 8 of the Danielson Motorsports Virtual Team 2. Followed by Christopher Larsson in 9. Absolutely spotless race by him here, at least whenever we had him on the screen. We saw him fully in control of what was going on. He's now through the chicane and gaining some important points here in the top 10 position for the Blue Flag Racing. Then we have Frederick Tachmann following him in 10, and with the speed he has, we heard from David that he's the fastest guy out there. He's poised or set to pass Larsson in about, I would say, 6 to 7 laps. In 11, it's the second of the Corvettes for the Nelson Motorsport 2, Jon Westerlund. In 12, Haba, out of the pits again, and he now should have by far the best tires on the whole grid, so we can expect maybe a fastest lap by him in these last laps. Sébastien Levray in 13 for the Project D, out onto the Mistral at this point. And Ivor Simons, the best of the Black Rebel racers now, after that huge crash we witnessed earlier by Vice Visser. Ivor Simons with the Ferrari in 14. Solid race by him here, and pretty much the position he was always between 14, 17, and managed to basically stay out of most of the battles and bring that Ferrari safely back home. In 15 we have Ricard Norgren, and he is in a serious love-hate relationship with a totally banged-up Porsche, and that belongs to Gregory Chogoti of the Project D. They have been at it for quite some time now, and another time they move towards the end of Mistral, but this time nothing serious happening here, other than Chogoti having huge exit speed after that first turn there, but now he's too far on the outside and loses all the momentum he gained before. In 17, the second blue flag racer, Keith Barrick, solid and very good race by him, and he's within striking distance of the guys in front, so if they have another little get-together there, if they share some paint or swap some paint, he might actually take advantage of that, because he is right close to them. In 18, Nigel Atkins, second of the Black Visor Motorsports, and he is followed by a mighty banged-up Vice. So he hasn't had damage repaired, at least not the external damage, so that racer still must lose a lot of speed on the Mistral straight. But he's still in the race, but he's down to 19 from, 11 or 12 before, which really is a pity. And then that's the last racer on the grid. So we have, as very often here in the Sim Racing Team Challenge, we have a massive battle going on for the last position. Isn't that fantastic, Andreas?
That is indeed fantastic, and going back up the order again, just mentioning that Duivlar has passed Bubicic again, so they are still having their little fight.
Okay, guys, we have the leader of the race reaching Gregory Kogot and Ricard Norgren, that they are in a real close fight as well for position 15. Maybe this can make the DHR car time.
Yep, definitely. They're about to start lapping now, and especially the Danielson guys are far from lapping, so that'll definitely give them something like a second or so a lap, if and especially if these guys who are being lapped are so close. And Bubicic now again attacking Duivlar, this time on the outside, and he gets past with no problems at all, but he might just overshoot again. Nope, he doesn't. And Duivlar has to stay behind. This has really got to be the fight of the race. Duivlar against Bubicic, and they probably know the backsides of the opponent's racers inside out. Like, they know all the writing there, they know all the little. They must be slightly banged up already, because they've touched here and there. And so now it's Duivlar following Bubicic, Bubicic in 3 and Duivlar in 4. And I've just seen that the lapping maneuver there went absolutely smoothly, so I don't think that that DHR SimCraft car lost very much time passing Chogoti and Black Visor Motorsports racer. So we are still with position 3 and 4, Bubicic and Duivlar, and there's another battle further down the grid. And that is for positions 7 and 8. And Jose must really love that fight for 3 and 4. Why don't we go there and give the Flat Out Racers and the Danielson Motorsports 2 some airtime? So in 7, we see Kevin Ledoux for the team that won the last race, the Flat Out Racers. And in 8, another great performance by Johan Pesula. And he's just now passed. He's into the slipstream and out of it again. And what a great track this is for virtual racing. We've seen these maneuvers again and again and again all through the race. And even with the tires now starting to wear again and the cars getting lighter, these sim racers are still so much in control of what they're doing that we still see these very, very close fights. Because after a long straight and just in front of them, we have these the set of very tight turns here, which are really not easy to take, especially with a ride like the Corvette. And so this makes for some awesome, very close racing. Now we say Pesula, and we see a brilliant maneuver there by Kevin Ledoux. Pesula was under the touch. Pesula was on a defensive line. He moved off a little, and then Ledoux moved on the inside, but Pesula stuck to it. They both touch, I would say, just your average racing incident. And that set Pesula off a little. Did you see that touch there, Andreas?
Yeah, I did, and basically racing incident. Pesula got a bit too tight, I think, into the corner before that, and went a bit wide out of it. And yeah, I think Kevin just basically didn't see him when turning into the corner.
Exactly. And it actually these two fighting brings Christopher Larsson within striking distance, while he has in turn Fredrik Tuckman on his back. We'll see that as these 4 go out onto the Mistral straight. We have Pesula in 7, Ledoux in 8, and then Larsson in 9. About, I would say, 200 meters, virtual meters behind, and Tuckman moving up on Larsson, and he'll swallow him in about 2 or 3 laps, I'd say, because he's, as we said earlier, at this point the fastest guy out on the track. So that would bring him up to position number 9 from 21. What a great race by Fredrik Tuckman. It's really not his fault if they can't defend the championship standings. He's doing all he possibly can. Ooh, big spin there by Fredrik Tuckman as he tries to get past Larsson, but Larsson sticks to his line, and Tuckman just barely manages to avoid crashing into him, and he's giving it his all. Tuckman virtually sliding into every single turn. Tires must be really shot. We have 15 minutes to go in the race, and he must be almost down to the rim.
Yeah, and I think he's really in a hurry as well, because he has a shot at taking Pesula as well up in the 7th. It's only a matter of 5 seconds or something like that. So.
Yep. I totally agree, but Christopher Larsson, no point for him to give up that position. He's racing for a position, and no matter where that guy came from, no matter how fast he is, if Larsson stays safely and fairly on his line, it'll be difficult to pass.
Yeah, of course.
So while these guys are fighting with about 30 minutes or so left in the game tonight, earlier on, just as our trouble started with the broadcast, Jose, I was going to talk about the prizes that we're giving away, well, at the beginning of next week, I would say, once we have figured out all the standings. What are the prizes that we are handing out here in the Sim Racing Team Challenge? You're the guy who should know.
Yes, well, we have, we don't have a prize for the first, for the second, and for the third. We have 3 prizes, and then each team picks the one they like more, in obviously in the same order as the standings. So what we have is the 25 slots GTR Evolution server, free for 6 months. Well, have to say race on server now, actually.
Yep.
And when we put the prize, race on was not released, but now it's race on server. We also have a Joomla website made unproposed for the team. And we also have a set of STC t-shirts and 3 pairs of sim boots or sponsor. So I think it's quite good prices. I think we managed to put on some good prices for the season.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember there's a prize that even a slow guy like me can win, isn't there? We have like 90 players who participated in the races, and don't we have a prize that is drawn between any of these 90, whoever participates?
Yes, of course, but that's more like sweepstakes between the people that participate, and it's a Fanatec pedal set, you know, this cool...
Yeah.
Well, I really don't remember the exact name now, but everybody knows that the metal ones, the cool ones.
I think we all have that mental image now. And tell you what, if I win it, I'll give it away to one of the fast guys on my team, because it's utterly lost on someone with my talents, but they're really cool, aren't they?
Well, Eckhart, maybe you realized it was your pedal set, and then you are 2 seconds faster with it.
Yeah, there's a photo of my pedal set on our home site, and you wouldn't believe it. It's mounted on an old cardboard box, which is giving way, so the pedals are kind of wobbly sometimes. And for them not to move too far away from me, I have a volume of Bill Clinton's biography tucked between the wall and the pedal. So every time I push the throttle, it's Monica Lewinsky in the biography going like, "Oh, Bill, oh, Bill." So it's kind of noisy when I race. That's what you do with a Bill Clinton biography. Anyway, as we were talking here about the prizes, thank you very much, Jose, we saw Tuckman finally getting out of that slipstream of Christopher Larsson and passing him at the end of Mistral in a very clean move. And now, as Andreas earlier said, he's chasing these guys in P7 and 8 that we see on the screen. And that's Kevin Ledoux still fighting very closely here with Johan Peisula. And let's see how much time Tuckman takes. But time's running out for him now. Time is really running out for him because we only have we should have about 8 minutes or so left. Let me quickly check.
11 minutes.
Okay, 11 minutes there are, which comes up to something like 6 laps, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And while we're watching these two fighting, I was just quickly checking on the grid. We still have Barrick in front. We still have Keithley in 2, and the Bubicic has now finally gotten some distance between his racer and between Peter Duivelar. So a bit of breathing space for him. Duivelar in 4, Torbjörn Lindau in 5, Mateusz Marcinkowski in 6, and Peisula. That's of course the great fight we see here. Peisula still under heavy attack by Kevin Ledoux of the Flat Out team.
Yeah, Ledoux was actually passing him there a couple of meters only, and it's basically a replay of the fight between the they touched.
Oh, and there's a massive touch here as we're speaking, and that gives Tuckman the chance, the opening he's been waiting for. That gives him a real good shot at passing either one or both of these racers. Little touch there as Kevin Ledoux was trying to pass Johan Peisula, and they both had to slow down in turn number 3. And so I just get a message here on the screen from my teammate Christer Larsson. Thank you, Christer. He tells us that Haba has set the fastest lap of the race, taking away a valuable point from Danielson Motorsports. So the point for fastest lap of the race at this point goes to the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. They then have 2 extra points, 1 for pole position and 1 for fastest lap.
I just noticed something in the background when they went on to the Mistral straight that I think it was with Visser standing by the side of the track, and I have no idea what that was all about.
Yep, sorry, didn't get that. Could you repeat for me, please, Andreas?
Yeah, I was saying that which Visser is standing by the side of the track at the beginning of the Mistral straight.
Oh no, that's a very bad sign indeed. Might be that his banged up car has finally, well, as the Germans would say, given up the ghost, or in other words, lost performance completely.
Yeah, he's still sitting there, so I have no idea what's going on.
I think he's just being frustrated and can't believe his bad and rotten luck.
Yeah, maybe so.
Tell you what, why don't you quickly join him on TeamSpeak, and maybe you can ask him about why he went off in that corner and what happened to his racer now.
Yeah, I can try and do that. Okay, be right back.
Yep, send you out on the long holes here in Paul Ricard Broadcasting Center. And we have an amazing three-way fight now emerging here. Also color-wise, very nice. Green, yellow and red. And we have Tuckman in Ledu's slipstream. And Tuckman going for the attack on the inside and passing Ledu as if it was nothing. Really easy pass there. And no, not an easy pass. Ledu fighting back, but Tuckman sticking to his line, and Ledu is nudged slightly off the track in that last turn there, and I tell you what, that will definitely have an adverse effect. You can see him going left, right, have an adverse effect on the stability of his racer in the turn so far. Look at that, he's really testing now in which way his virtual racer is affected by that maneuver, and it looks as if he might lose speed now. Tuckman now, coming back from position 21. I can't stress this too often. He's up to 8, and he's going to be in 7 in a couple of minutes, I would say. But that will be the end of it, because there's a massive, a huge gap in front of Johan Pesula. And look how the two are moving away from poor Kevin Ledoux here after that touch. And it really must be that there's something wrong now with his ride, that he can't go that fast. And Jose, could you move down the grid just a little to position 10 and 11, because we have Christian Haba fighting with Christopher Larsson. And Haba has set another fastest time. Larsson Senior has just told me on the chat. He's beaten his own lap time, but he's been off the track as he was overshooting his breakpoint, trying to pass Larsson for position number 10, and he might get another stop and go for that. And race control tells me we should move to P3, but we should keep an eye on Haba, whether he can stay in the race or whether he has to do another stop and go.
I will take care of Haba. I will be with him.
Yeah, and he's taking care of Christopher Larsson, just half a lap on, and he's now in 10, but let's see if he can make it stick. So P3 is our friends again. It's Teo Bubicic, again hounded by Peter Duivelar, who was a little away, but with the race in its finishing stages here, it seems that Bubicic has been the one to torment his tires more and to show slightly more reckless racing here. So it looks as if Duivelar has a slightly better ride towards the end of the race, and he's closing in. They're both about to lap one of the home races here, one of the Project D races. From the looks of it, car is not mighty banged up. I would say it's Sébastien Levray. And down the Mistral straight. So Andreas, have you been in touch with your teammate Vice?
Yeah, I couldn't get any good answers from them. They were quite... Oh, the engine from Teo Bubicic.
Oh, no! A disaster. Engine blows. I was just talking about reckless driving, and there you are. This really massive fight that they had been in all the time now shows, and this means that Tuckman moves up another space, and this means also that Lindau moves up another space. So bad news for DHR SimCraft, and Bubicic is out of the race definitely for sure. Lindau now in 4, and Tuckman in 8, and still following Johan Pesula. So we can assume he'll be in 7 in before the race finishes.
Wow, that was a bit of an anticlimax there. But anyway, I was talking to Visser before, and he told me that he had another stop-and-go penalty, and I don't know what really. He's a bit pissed, I guess.
Okay, understandably. It was a hard race. I mean, that mistake that happened there, or whatever happened there, to me it looked as if he had, for a split second, lost contact to the server or something, and then when he came back on, he had already missed his break point, because it was a situation where really you would usually... I mean, he was under pressure from last one, but it looks as if there was something wrong with what was going on there, and then he went just straight ahead into the wall, so the crash was really massive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when we're debating, it's only 2 minutes to go. Okay, race control tells me we're starting the last lap in half a second. That's Mr. Keith Barrick out on the start and finish straight here at the virtual Paul Ricard. And W tells me there's only 1 lap to go for him. So race is drawing to a finish, and we've seen great, huge battles all the way up and down the grid. You could really see it was the last race of the season, couldn't you, Andreas? Because it was all or nothing in some of these fights.
Yeah, everybody wanted to like make it the worth. What's the words? I forgot the words now. But I think everybody wants to put on a show and just have some fun and bring a good race to the audience who's watching.
Yep, and also everybody just felt that this was the last chance to get any points whatsoever for the team. So go out and grab the chance, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's like this feeling of, okay, this is the last time I can actually gain points for the team, so I'd better give it my all. And if in doubt, I'd rather go into the opening and try to put it through, rather than in the other races where you see it's like, oh, it's still 5 races to go or still 6 races to go, so I'll not go into that opening. There will be other in the season.
Yeah.
And guys, sorry, I think we will see a classic... Le Mans finish from the formation.
We'll see lots of flashing lights.
Yeah.
And time's up now, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 corners to go.
And no matter who took the fastest lap here, these 2 will definitely take the win here unless one of them runs out of fuel. It's now 2 corners to go for DHR SimCraft, who run the number 1 because they won the championship last year, and who will definitely run the number 1 next year unless something happens. And Keith Barrick slows down to let second position Jack Keithley join in the fun, and here they go down the line, and it's a double win. A double win, a massive win for DHR SimCraft. Congratulations, and they're all set to regain or to defend the title that they won last season with an impressive show here in the last race. In position number 3, it's Peter Deubelaar. After a hugely entertaining race for him and by him, fighting Teo Bubicic. And then we have the first of the race leaders of the standing leaders so far, Torbjörn Lindau for the Nelson Motorsport in 4. Mateusz Marcinkowski for the flat-out racers in 6, and still fighting going on there. Johan Pesola, and they're still fighting for positions here, and there's a bang. There's a mighty bang by Christian Haba. He bangs into Frederick Tuckman, and that makes Tuckman, and Tuckman is off the track. Oh my goodness, he must have broken his car completely in that maneuver by Haba there. Pesola in 6, Dragos Haba in 7, Kevin Ledoux in 8, Christopher Larsson in 9, John Westerlund in 10, Frederick Tuckman, sans splitter in 11. And he will be mighty angry at that maneuver there with about 2 turns to go. That banged up his racer, so he lost control in the very last turn. We have Sébastien Levray for the Project D for the home team here, bringing home a really good result in 12. And that's the last racer who is still on the track. So, race is finished. What a finish we saw there. Did you see that move by Haba?
No, a little bit in the background, but that pretty much sums up the DMSv's race as a whole, I guess. Just wasn't their race.
Yup, that was very philosophically put. It's a race they would rather possibly forget pretty soon. But we have a superb 1-2 by DHR SimCraft, who are set to defend their title. Results will be out after all the logs have been shifted, after all the points have been awarded. But it looks as if they can defend the title, and it looks as if the Roaring Pipe Maniacs have taken both the pole position and the fastest lap here by Christian Haba. And now it's time for the national anthem of the DHR SimCraft racing team, and that, of course, is Great Britain. And here we are with you again. After an exciting finish to an exciting season, it's time to congratulate the double winners here at Paul Ricard. It's time to congratulate the DHR SimCraft racers. And first of all, let me talk to Mr. Keith Barrick, who won the race tonight. Congratulations to you, Keith. Some words from you on the win.
Thanks, Eckhart. My first race here in Sim Racing Team Challenge. Great series. Thanks to Damien, our team leader, who allowed me to race here. Had a rough qualifying. Kind of messed up on the setup and cost me the 17th starting place for the race. Put it all together in the race. Had a good setup with when the fuel was in the car, and was able to get up front and work well with the teammates. And we put it all together and brought it home for DHR GP.
Yeah, you certainly did. DHR then set to defend their title here. Once we've sorted through all the points, it looks as if you scored a massive double victory here. And you must have had an amazing first 2 laps. I mean, you mentioned you came from 16 or 17, and we saw you in something like position 9 or so after lap 2. However did you do that?
Just picked my spots, watched ahead, just kind of avoided any incidents, and was able to use the draft effectively. As the Vette was a great car for this track with the torque and the horsepower. But yeah, after the second lap, I was up to 9th, and just slowly picked my way up to the front. And I did notice, I think, a couple of guys were having issues with car setup at the start and pitted early, which I kind of took advantage of.
Yep. Okay, brilliant. So first appearance and a win straight away, and then of course in the last laps you were doing the Le Mans. We said the Le Mans finish, waiting for your team partner to have a really nice 1-2 on the straight, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. That was Mr. Keithley's idea. Just a photo op to end off a great season for DHR GP.
Certainly did. So congratulations to you, and talking about Mr. Keithley there, congratulations to you, sir, on second position. Tell us about your race.
Pretty much just went as planned. Qualifying didn't go as well, just sometimes got the power down a bit too much and half spun it a couple of times, but made up positions pretty well in the first couple of laps. Then when I got to the back of Teo, I was just following until he set me past pretty much, and then pit stop was good. And
yeah, just
went pretty good from there.
Brilliant. Yeah, I saw you do one of these half spins. You were touched by one of the orange RPM guys, weren't you? But that just put you down 2 or 3 positions, luckily, didn't it?
Yeah, we had a couple of touches in the first lap, and sorry to that Corvette I spun on the first lap.
Okay.
I think I got bumped into him though.
Yep. Looked like it, but as I said, fortunately you didn't really do a full turn and lose that many positions, didn't you? Just like 2 or 3, and then you were able to regain them rather quickly.
Yeah, great race. Just got the stops our way nicely and go beyond for 1, 2, 3, but sadly Teo's engine blew up, so bad luck for him.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. That brings me to third positioned racer, who is, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Peter Duivelar of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
You must have had one of the most difficult races on the grid here, because you were fighting with Teo for, I don't know, like all the laps but 2.
Yeah, especially in the second stint, it was really an amazing battle with Teo. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And there were little touches here, little touches there, but from what we could see, it was all just race incidents, wasn't it?
There weren't any major incidents between us, although at the end I think Teo blew up his engine, so that's why he stopped.
It's sad to see that. We would have loved to watch you all the way, but especially both of you were taking advantage of that massive slipstream on the long straight, didn't you?
Just as with the Corvettes, the Porsche are very quick on the straight, so the only way for me to keep up with Teo was by slipstreaming behind him.
Okay, so great position for you. Do you know what happened to your teammate, Dragos Haba? He was in serious trouble for lots of the race and had to really fight to get back in.
Yeah, somehow he had wrong tires or so, and after about 5 laps he changed his tires, and after that he was really quick and he managed to get 7th position.
All right. So that tells his story as well. Thank you very much, Peter Duivelar, for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and congratulations again to all 3 guys up there on the podium. You did a great job tonight.
Ricard, we have with us the 2 drivers and the team spokesman of Danielson Motorsports Virtual. I think it's really interesting to hear them today.
Yeah, let me start with Frederick Tuckman. Your race was outstanding, but also full of trouble, wasn't it?
Yes, with all these restarts, I checked my tires every time except for the last one into race, I think. And then it had changed to wets. But when I'm reading in the chat here, people have been checking their tires, and it has been slicks, and then they have had wets on track. Really funny thing.
Well, funny. You probably didn't think it was so funny, so you changed, and I think after the first lap, we saw you go from position number 2 all the way down to 9 or something. And then you had an amazing fight back up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when you are in that position that you don't are in it anymore, then you can drive really on your own and in some bit of anger too. And so I did, and well, the lap times was decent, I think, and it was it's not so often that you have opportunity to pass so much drivers, and that was the funny bit today. But I'm so sorry for the rest of my team that I fucked up like this. It's not funny.
Okay, I must do a beep for that word there, but a bit late. You called me there, Frederick. Well, we've got a team manager with you, John Westerlund. What's your take on what was happening tonight?
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate DHR SimCraft for having a great season. And it's been very fun for us to be so close. And I have to agree with Frederick. The beep word was said quite frequently behind my steering wheel as well. I had the same problem as he had. Checked the tires, it said dry, and it started out on wets. So both the disappointment, the satisfaction, and I am actually quite proud of my team for the results of this first season in Sim Racing Team Challenge.
Yeah, and if we take a broader view, I mean, your second team also performed handsomely. We had some great fights here by Mr. Pesula on the track tonight, and so if you put the two teams together, you come up as the winner overall, don't you?
Well, I'd like to propose to Hussein David that it should institute a special trophy for that. We'll take it.
Yep, definitely. Your second team always was very competitive on the track, so it really didn't feel like a second team at all at times.
No, we have performed actually above our own expectations partly, and I think we managed to hold on to 5th or 6th overall, and I think that is great.
Yep, certainly is. And also with us now is Dragos Haba, another one of the unlucky guys. Dragos, a word from you about your race. You were the pole sitter and you set the fastest lap, but still you ended up in 7th. How come?
Well, it seems like everyone's a broken record here. Everyone's saying that they got started on wet tires, and that's exactly what happened to me. I could not figure out for the life of me why I was going so slowly, and I ran wide quite a few times, and I had a little bump with Jack because my tires just couldn't hold out in the turns, and I ended up getting 2 stop and goes, and after that I just got really frustrated, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to pit. And I'm going to see what happens, change the tires, see how it goes. And right away I noticed a difference. Right away I started putting up those lap times that I knew I could do. So that's just how it was.
Oh, brilliant. Well, not brilliant. Brilliant for us to watch, but sad because this is the first time you were in the STC this year, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. And I was very excited. I was happy to, I was actually really looking forward to racing Vince, not that anybody else is lesser challenge or anything, but I was really looking forward to that, and when I heard that he wasn't coming, I was a bit sad, but I was still excited to race against Jack and everybody from DSM and also, DHR, and everybody else really, because it was really, really exciting. It's really a great really a great challenge that you guys have here. So it's sad that I couldn't really race up front, but I'm really glad that I came out with a seventh place. I was really surprised when Frederick started spinning at the second last corner, and I thought I straightened him out, and then he kind of stopped before the straight, and it was really weird. I thought maybe he was upset with me, but it turns out it was all right.
Okay, so you figured that one out. Thank you very much, all. This was an exciting season for us. And Jose, last word from you.
Well, I want to end the broadcast, the interviews, sorry, with Mirko Korkiakowski from DHR acting as team spokesman, because Damian is not available today. I think he's working in whatever the team spokesman work, a part of the STC. So I think we should close with Mirko.
No problem at all. Mikko, over to you then, team spokesman for the team that seems to have defended their title. How are you going to celebrate?
Well, I think everybody's going to celebrate in their own way, because we just aren't really close to each other, so it's quite difficult. But yeah, I think it's definitely time for celebration. It's just been an up and down year for us, losing drivers for any kind of reasons, and then winning races, and just it's been awesome. But yeah, if I can thank some people now, if it's okay.
Okay, so you'll possibly have your celebration on the team forum, and then sending each other joyful messages there. So yeah, I can see that you're not going to get together to a pub there, and everyone must do that on their own. You said it was a difficult situation for the team. If I remember correctly, the first two races you were completely either off pace or having problems, and then you really picked your way up the standings, didn't you?
Yeah, the first races were really awful. Although I think we won the first race, but the second race was just terrible, and we were, I think, over 50 or maybe even 60 points behind the leaders at that point. But we just stuck together and decided that we just have to catch those guys, and that it's a team effort, and everybody worked together really hard, and this is the end result, and it feels just as awesome as last year, maybe even better.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Mikko Korkiakowski, team spokesman for the winning team, DHR SimCraft. And Jose, that about sums up the broadcasts for this season. Maybe as you say goodbye to our viewers, you can tell them when we will be on air again, roughly. What month?
Well, I think around March, but our sporting director knows better than me. And now I want to thank everybody, all the drivers, all the teams, all the staff, and especially because his work is not the most visible. David Garcia, well, David, because he dedicates a lot of hours every day to the STC, and well, it's not the most glamorous work. It's more like forum work, and it's really important work for the championship. So I want to thank them, as well as all the rest of the staff and drivers and team, of course. Thank you very much for support STC.
Yeah, I'm joining in your thanks for David and all the stuff. I think you guys did a great job, especially for David. There's a saying, isn't there? It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, so you're our guy, aren't you?
Well, I'm not sure, but if you say so, I have to be.
All right, Andreas, a parting shot from you. Look back on the series before we go off the air.
Just a brilliant season, I think. A lot happened, and just great, brilliant racing all throughout the year.
Okay, that's it then. Unless somebody interrupts me, I'm gonna wind up. I'm gonna wrap up the Sim Racing Team Challenge season for this year. We saw some huge races. We saw 13 teams on the track. We saw all in all about 90 virtual racers, 90 sim racing players participating in the series. We saw huge fights. It was not only in one race, but in many races that we saw a fight to the last. The people were fighting for the last spot on the grid all through the last corners. And that is what the Sim Racing Team Challenge is all about. It's about teamwork. And so I'd like to thank our sponsors, the simboot.com, and also the gamehosters.net, who provided us with the funding, or some of the funding, and also the Pikes Peak Challenge, which is up now over Christmas. Care to join that? If you've got R-Factor on your hard drive, you can definitely do that. So, from me, also your friendly voice, Eckart von Glan, it's goodbye to this season and welcome to the next season after about a quarter-year break. Bye-bye.
God jul.